Hey, welcome back to the shop. We're gonna try to make a 4-leaf clover shallow bowl today. But before I do that, I need to ask you a couple questions. I made this bowl out of this guys. And I made it thin so I was gonna pierce it. But I don't know, this guy's nice detail. What do you think? Leave me a comment. Should I pierce it? Same thing applies to here's where it started. So I got this turbine little piercing thing that I want to try, and so I made this really thin bowl. And again, it's got too much character. There is some stuff that I tried, and I don't know. I don't think I should touch that one. But anyways, I have a few videos coming up. The making of this guy right here, the setup and using this guy here. I also have this like little bell that I haven't taken off my chuck because I'm also thinking about piercing it, and about a cheap Amazon wood burning kit that we're gonna try out. But right now, oh yeah, this too. Right now we're gonna play with this guy, so let's go. I cut a cookie about just over 2 inches, maybe 2 1/4 or so. I put a face plate, and yes, I did put 6 screws. This is very light, by the way. I used a 2.5 inch face plate, and this piece of wood sat outside for like 4 years, and it didn't crack on the end. So here I'm checking how fast I can turn and staying out of the way until the piece of bark flies off, and so I slow down right about there. Well, let's see if she will blend. See, I've already lost my bark. A lot more is gonna fly out. And the rest we're gonna have to suck it up. I started turning up my predetermined speed, which was about 750, and because I never turned Cedar before, I was doing very light passes just to get the hang of it. Actually, I lied. I should saw the speed is like 8 something. Very tedious, and I kept my head out of the way because every once in a while some piece of bark will fly off. Also, when I reach like near the edge, I can hear them flapping around. So here I'm marking my tenon, which I don't really find until the end. I kind of got used to doing that just because wood moves and I want to do it right at the end. Here I found a hole, and I was trying to figure out how deep it went to see if I can get it out. Well, I would say it goes pretty far. So I decided it would be part of the piece because I didn't have any other choice. Here I'm doing some shear scraping. I did a lot of this because when you turn an end grain, especially when I was turning from the outside going in, if you go from the inside going out, then you rip out all the bark, so there is no win in here. But I took my time and I got it good. I give it a sanding, then some spot sanding on the wings, put my chuck and flipped it around. This side was running nice and true, so I bump up the speed to just over 1,000. But I continue doing light passes because I have no experience with Cedar and this is end grain. When I speed things up, it's usually times 4 unless I'm just removing material like this part here that goes into time 8. But we'll get to real time, especially when I'm doing the cuts that matter. Here I'm checking what I want to be, so I get a sense for how much to get in. Here I'm clearing a bit of material, and that's the cut that matters. I feel pretty confident on that one, so I just went on to removing, but I'm just leaving all this in real time, so you get a sense of, I wasn't like rushing. Like when you see my videos, it just sounds like I turned something really quick, but I really didn't. I was taking maybe like 1/8 of an inch at a time there, and only going about 3/4 of an inch forward. So it was a bit of a tedious process. Then I line up with my last cut and just go for it. Every time I join 2 sections, I will stop and make sure that there are no lines between the 2 sections that I just joined. So now I'm going to clear up another, let's say 3/4 of an inch, and I will do the exact same thing all over again. But if you have any lines, you need to deal with it at that time. You can't really go back, because it's not going to work for you. Trust me, I've done it a few times, and it just leads to problems. Even if you try to scrape it, it won't work. So here I left a line. You can see it right there. So that's why I'm running this in real time. So it's tempting to just keep going and say I'll sand it, but I'll say fix it, because then it's less sanding and less problems. That was like a very, very thin pass, but the line is gone. And I'm on this camera alone because my other one wound up crapping out. The battery died, and subsequently same thing happened to this one. So, but here I'm using a 60-degree swept back and going from the inside out. Very thin passes again, and my camera craps out right about here. Well, both of my cameras kinda died on me, so I'm finishing this with my iPhone. Also, I need a Dremel bit that I don't have. I have to either go buy or order one to remove this leftover bark here. So I'm just gonna end this video here, but if I went kind of thin towards the center, and the very last of it I actually wind up sanding it because I'm way too thin. Like here, I mean, I'm okay here, but right here you can see like this. I had to like hold my hand behind it to sand it. But if you're wondering about the tenon, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up the chuck. I'm not gonna do it now because I want to keep it there to remove all this fuzzy stuff with the Dremel and a sanding bit. But I'm gonna loosen up the tenon, move it out just enough for the pull so to get in there, because I do have a tiny double shoulder, about maybe an 8 or 3/16. So I'm gonna move it out slightly and then cut it off and sand the bottom and put some finishing on. But I don't want this video to be forever. So anyways, I thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll catch up with you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.